I call the Honourable Member Lawissa Wall. Tēnā koe, Ms Wall.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker. I ngā mana i ngā reo, ngā whānau Ngati toa, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. I'm also aware e taka pūwahia marae and Porirua, many of the whānau have gathered to watch the proceedings in the House today. To all the whānau of Ngati toa, I say congratulations on this third reading of your bill that will provide, I guess, more assets for you to build on in terms of Ngati toa moving into the future with confidence. So I congratulate you. I also want to thank you particularly for the leadership of your tūpuna, te rauparaha in te rangi heiata. Because when I look at your history, like all histories, your journey began in 1839 when you signed the Kapiti deed, and by 1843 your Rangatira were fighting for the rights of Ngati toa. And I think that warrior spirit has to be acknowledged because it is that fighting spirit that endures today when we look at the performance of our Haka, that our All Blacks, who define us internationally within a sporting context, perform. And so I hope when you see that Haka, when you look at the All Blacks for you now and into the future, it is about your rangatira, te rauparaha, that has created that platform for us. I note, however, in the Attribution Bill that there is no copyright to the Haka kāmate, and that this is a very unique part of this legislation because you do have formal acknowledgement. But because it's not contained within the Copyright Act, there are no royalties. And so I say to the Minister, thank you very much for that 5-year review, because that 5-year review enables Ngati toa to actually look at how the Haka is used and whether or not formal acknowledgement is sufficient into the future in terms of how the Haka kāmate is used. And in fact, it clarifies and confirms the Y262 report that did say there should be controls on the use of the Haka. And so I think the position of Ngati toa going forward in terms of the control of the Haka kāmate is something that ultimately should be in your hands. So I acknowledge the very special and significant attribution of the Haka to Te Rauparaha and to Ngati toa, and I look forward as we move into the future, the safeguarding of the Haka in terms of Ngati toatanga. What I want to focus on, and I want to acknowledge, Mr Speaker, that you went to Ngati toa Primary School in Tētahi Bay, and so I think that it's special to acknowledge all the connections that we have. But my role here today is to add support to our Labour voice, our kaumātua, I'll call him. Shane Jones kicked the proceedings off this morning. He and my colleague Reno Terekatene and Nanaia Mahuta sit on the Māori Affairs Select Committee. I was a previous member of the Māori Affairs Select Committee. I'm no longer, but as a proud member of this House of Māori Whakapapa, Ngāti Tūwharetoa and Waikato, it's a pleasure always to participate in these treaty settlement debates, because for all of us, I think the resolution of our colonial history, the resolution of our truth and reconciliation process, I call it, is incredibly significant. And always we pay tribute to the people who have gone before, our tūpuna who aren't with us anymore, our tūpuna and our rangatira here today, that will ensure as we move into the future, we do so always with our heads held high. And so I want to acknowledge all Ngati toa who have been involved in getting you to where we are today. Because the Crown, yes, is the partner that you have negotiated with to get to where we are today, but we have a lot of resources on our side. and always it is the fortitude and persistence and steadfast commitment to making sure that we, as tangata whenua in Aotearoa, New Zealand, are forever acknowledged as mana whenua, as tangata whenua, and so these settlement bills are incredibly important in terms of moving forward as a nation. And I always like to look at either the statutory acknowledgements or the place names, and I see within your legislation that this settlement has provided for place name changes to 12 North Island sites and 9 South Island sites. And for me, it is those names that actually mean a lot, because they honour our tupuna, they honour our specific relationships, so Ngati Toa's relationship to these geographical sites here in Aotearoa. And so forever, Ngati Toa's footprint will be recorded formally within our country. And so the new geographic names, for example, Taupo Point, Kapu Ariki Rocks, Mount Porirua, Hau Kōpua Point, Motuhara Point, Te Ana o Hau Toka Pōtaka Rock, and there are altered names for Colonial Knob, which will be called Rangituhi, Goat Point, which will be called Tawhitikuri, Te Awarua o Porirua Harbour, Toka a Papa Reef, Te Rewa Point, Te Whanganui with an H, which is to sit alongside Port Underwood, Te Hoiere, which is the Pelorus Sound and Pelorus River, Te Koka o Kupe, Cloudy Bay, o Raumoa, Fighting Bay, Te Hoiere, I've read that, sorry, Pukatea, Whites Bay, Tokomaru, which is Mount Robertson, Waikuta, Robin Hood Bay, and Totaranui, Queen Charlotte Sound. So the significance of these renamings for Ngati Toa are incredibly important, but they're incredibly important for us as a country as well. And so I won't contribute any more other than to, again, congratulate you for your treaty settlement. I hope in this process you have felt that there is a momentum within this House to settle these treaty claims, and we move forward constructively in partnership with you. The statutory acknowledgements, the fact that you will have, for example, resource management governance authority over 8 coastal sites, over 23 other sites, means that forever Ngati Toa will formally be part of the management and be the kaitiaki that you are of these sites. And so for me that is the significance in terms of our acknowledgement of you as mana whenua, as first sovereigns, and the partnership opportunity that we have as a country going forward. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.